What is going on, people? All right, like today was a busy day. So I got a lot of stuff that I'm going to drop down and I may go a little fast. We did not have any training today because I had a Turo pickup. I had appointments. I had phone calls. It was a crazy day. But it was a good day because I got some information to tell you. Now, essentially, let's say if you wanted to do, let's go out with the first thing. If you want to be part of the art of holding, the price did not go up because I am getting ready to put my foot into it with some new training. And this is kind of part of it because here's the thing. You can watch a lot of YouTube videos and you will not learn much. Now, I want to say this. I think I addressed this in the video this morning. I don't think the people who were putting the Turo videos up had any ill intentions or anything like that. I'm not going to bash them because they were doing the best they could. They were relaying their information, but it wasn't what I needed. And that was very, very frustrating. So I had to go ahead and put together a data set. I had to buy cars, put them on the platform. Porsche is gone. The BMW is going to be rented. The Range Rover, I'm getting questions about it. But essentially, let's go ahead and let me go ahead in here. Turo. Let me go ahead and show you what you need to do if you're getting started on Turo. Let me show you what you need to do. And I don't think any of the Turo videos even talked about this. All right. Turo has a car calculator. Now, this is what I use to make my buying decisions. Now, the Porsche I have a feeling the Porsche is going to exceed this because I've had 2 rentals and we're at like $500 on that alone. And they're just 2 rentals. So I think the Porsche is going to exceed this. Now, this is why I bought the Land Rover, because you will see it gets more money than the Porsche per this thing. And let's go with the BMW. Let's go with the BMW. And this is being rented. Someone's coming to pick up the BMW Friday. So if you're going to do something on Turo, I highly recommend that you play around with this before you buy anything. Before you buy anything, you come in here and you play around with this. And this is, and also it goes by your location. So this was very helpful because it was 100% spot on the Porsche. I almost bought a 2015 Porsche, but it was going to be $53,000. That was a lot of capital tied up in one vehicle. And based upon this, it was going to take 3 years for it to pay for itself. So not a good use of capital. And I'm going to lay out the new business plan now that I have data. Now that I have actual data. Essentially, for all my folks who are trying to start a business, and YouTube videos will only get you so far. None of the stuff that I found no one in the YouTube world even mentioned this stuff. I watched many Turo videos. No one even mentioned this. And like, if you're thinking about Turo, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the sauce, as they like to say. If you have 2 or 3 extra vehicles, that's going to put you in the best position for Turo, because you already have the vehicles. You don't have to go out and buy them. And this can get you some almost passive income. The danger zone seems to be 20-25 vehicles. This is where people seem to run into some problems. And there have been many Turo hosts who've had 70, 80 vehicles who are no longer with Turo. There's a reason for that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the commercial insurance. I had some very productive conversations today with people in the insurance industry. And one dude, we had a 45-minute conversation, and he schooled me. He gave me juicy data. Believe it or not, commercial insurance is not that much more expensive than your regular insurance. I was quoted $120 per car. My Porsche at State Farm is $145, and the BMW is like $130. So actually, it was cheaper than my current insurance. $120 per car, full coverage. You have the option of doing full coverage. You have the option of doing liability. However, here is the danger zone and why no one ever talks about this stuff. If you go ahead and you also, if you're setting up a rental business and you also have a car business, you need to have two entities because let's say you're renting cars, right? And you have the same insurance company that's doing your general liability for your car lot. What they're going to do is double charge you because it's one entity. So if, let's say on your car lot, you're renting 15 cars, right? And you have 100, they're going to charge you insurance for those 100 because it's the same policy. So this is what I'm talking about. Juicy data, because now I'm going to create a separate company. I already have the company for the car company, Mac Daddy Autos. That's already established. Now I'm going to create a separate company for the rentals. Now I got a little time and I'm going to explain to you why. Here is the got you with the commercial liability insurance. Let's say you have a fleet of 15 cars and you have 2 accidents per year. That may be enough to get your policy non-renewable. Essentially, there's an insurance risk. Like if you had 400 cars and you had 2 claims per year, they're not going to do anything to you. But if you only have like 10, 15 cars and you have some like total loss claims, they're going to look at that real hard. And what's going to happen is they're not going to renew your policy. And that's the danger zone, because getting the commercial insurance ain't that hard. There are several companies that provide it, but you've got to manage the risk of the commercial insurance. So one of the things that this is doing is it's making me rewrite my business plan, because like I got some phone numbers, there are products. Also, if your rental company is new, there are many commercial insurance companies that will not cover you. They will not cover you. When you go into the application process, they're going to ask you a lot of questions. Who's the owner, date of birth, driver's license, how many years you've been in business. And they're going to ask you a big question. How many claims have you put in? That is going to be crucial. That's going to be really juicy. So essentially, if you go ahead, you can get a commercial policy really quickly, and it's not going to be terribly expensive. Like essentially with my fleet, I would be paying about $1,000 a month for 8 cars of my current fleet. Now, what I'm getting ready to do now, also, here's something else you need to know about commercial insurance. If you are renting cars to people who do not have insurance and you file a bunch of claims, they're going to not renew your policy. So knowing this and actually having someone sit down and tell me this was very, very helpful, because it helps me create. Now I have real data. I have juicy data. I have the information, because I'm going to start buying cars again tomorrow, because now I know what way to go. I know how to do this. I know how to set this up. So also, tomorrow, I'm renting my office. I'm going back to the building. Well, I don't know where the office is going to be, but I just told them I needed to rent the office. It's for a car rental agency. They're cool with it. I can park the cars there. I have no problem. It's going to be $550 a month. It's going to be a little office. I'll probably never be there. I'll just maybe store some keys there or something like that. Essentially, when I get to, let's see, let me go ahead and do some math here, because essentially I am going to hire someone, because a lot of these folks want to come in and check, but I'm going to hire someone because the Land Rovers are going to turn into 5 cars, 5 or 6 cars. Let's see, 5. So those are going to be 2. And I might, the Acras are going to turn into, let's see, that one Acura is going to turn into 3 cars. So 1 is going to be 3. and another one's going to turn into 2. I'm getting rid of the $15,000 Acura. I'm getting rid of the $13,000 Acura. I may keep the $10,000 one. I may not. But if I get rid of that, that gets me 2 cars. So getting rid of the Rovers and 6, that brings me up to 9. It brings me up to 13 cars. So the Land Rovers are gone. They're hella expensive to maintain. I may just park one of them. Is going to be parked until I get the title, and then I'm going to trade it in on some cheaper cars. So we're going to go from 8 cars to 13, and I still have the Porsche, and I still have the Camry. So it's going to be 15 cars. So when I get up to, say, 25 cars, I'm going to hire someone to be the car person. They're going to work Monday through Friday, and they're going to work like 10 to 7, something like that. So I'm like 10 cars away from that 25 car. So I'm going to hire someone because what I'm getting ready to do, this information today was awesome information. It really taught me what I needed to do and what direction I need to go in. Tomorrow, I'm going to buy a car, and I'm going to start buying cars tomorrow. I'm going to have my assistant take me there. I need to call them and make sure that this car is still there. And essentially, I'm not going to buy 2 and 3 cars in one day. That just takes too long. I'm going to buy 1 car at a time. So I should be to 25 cars because I'll have 15 with the trade-ins. And I will have the Porsche. I'm keeping the Camry. The Camry's a little expensive, but I'm keeping that. So 25 cars by June, maybe. Just depends on when I get the titles, because I can't do anything with the cars I have until I get the titles. But 25 to 30 cars, definitely by July. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm renting an office tomorrow. Commercial insurance. I am not going to get commercial insurance until I get a better fleet. And I'm going to tell you why. Because with the commercial insurance, I got one entryway. Because essentially, let's say I buy commercial insurance and I have 7 claims, right? And there was someone here on YouTube who has a Turo business. He had 2 total losses out of a fleet of 10 or 15 cars. I don't know when he had, but he had 2 total losses, and Turo covered them. But I'm just sitting there like, I need to get some more skill in this game. In hire car, I've made more money with hire car than I did with Turo. Every car that I've sent out on hire car is gone. So essentially, the car that I'm buying tomorrow is going to be put on hire car. It's probably going to disappear within a few hours because I'm going to price it just right. And it's a nice car if it's still available, because this is kind of like the storage auction game. You've got to buy correctly. And I made some mistakes because I got frustrated because I couldn't get any real data, because like I said, once again, the YouTubers, I'm not going to bash anyone. I don't think they did anything wrong. It's just my objective and their objective was totally different. Totally different. So I can do a fleet of 50 cars on hire car and they'll go out. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm starting buying cars again. I made $800. I've made $800 between Turo and hire car, right? Guess what? $800 cash money is more interest than I would have made if I left it in the bank. We're just getting started. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's say, because right now I have 115,000 in these cars. And then we're going to shuffle these around. And I made $800. Let's say once this thing gets ironed out and I get it all appropriate, let's say I make just 5,000 a month off that 115,000. That is 60,000 a year. I can literally double my money every 2 years doing this. So this is a greater return than letting the money sit in the bank, because I'm about to be spending a lot of money. So I feel that once I get this worked out, because I feel the BMW, I don't know if I'm keeping that. The BMW and the Porsche, both of them together should bring in about $3,400 a month. If they keep that, I want to keep those cars, because if they're bringing in $3,400 per month, that's $40,000 a year. That pays for the cars within a year. I will keep those cars. But, if the BMW slips, I will get rid of it. Just depends. Now, also, let me go ahead and give you guys this caution. There are a lot of people out there financing cars to put on to Turo. I would be very, very careful, because right now there are people in the comments. It's like, I got cars that are financed. They're on Turos. The bills are being paid. I'm making a profit. I've done a lot of research on Turo. A lot of cars are not being rented. So if you go out and burden yourself with a car payment and you put on Turo and your car doesn't rent, guess what? You lost money. You lost money. Erica, there is not like the kind of data that I'm looking for. Like, there was none of this stuff with the commercial rental, because like I said, this one guy, he gave me a really 45-minute conversation. Essentially, one of the things, I don't know if they're selling the data of what kind of cars to put on Turo car, because Turo actually has a tool to help you determine what kind of car to put on there. So one of the things that is interesting, because let's go ahead and address this. Most of these people are trying to buy 5 or 6 cars and make some passive income. I am trying to build a real business. I guarantee you there's not a lot of that data. I've seen a lot of stuff. Like, there's a girl here on YouTube. She had like 15 cars. Now she only has 2. I wonder why. I have a feeling that Turo is going to be what happened to eBay. eBay and Amazon. Like, my first few weeks on that eBay, I made like $4,000 or $5,000 easy. Amazon, same thing. What happened? Like, you could start with $500, reinvest your profits, and build a business on Amazon 10 years ago. You could do that. You can't do that today. If you're not coming with $20,000, $30,000, you're going to struggle on eBay and Amazon. So there may be data out there, but there's not the Glendon Cameron kind of data out there, because essentially I like the details. I like the fine details. So let's see. We made $800. Getting my data, and like, one of the things. Now, this is I've learned this in literally 2 weeks, start to finish, because I like to collect my own data, because I can trust the data that I collect. I would be pissed off if I paid someone for this data and then it was just no better than the YouTube data. I would do a chargeback. I would be that guy. So let's see. What's going on? There's a downvote already? Really? That's crazy. I have 5 cars on hire car. How's that going for you? Goddess Noel, thank you for the $20 super chat. What you're saying about insurance makes sense. I read about a lady who rented out her Tesla The renter let her son drive it, and he told her Turo wouldn't activate the claim since it was a single car. Also, this is another thing. If someone rents your car on Turo and they let someone else drive it and someone else wrecks it, they will not cover that claim. They will not cover that claim. This was part of the conversation that I had. So, the insurance part is really, really slippery. You got to be really careful. And this is why I'm going to put more cars on hire car. And I'm going to tell you why I'm putting more cars on hire car. Not one of the cars I rented on hire car has come back, and we're going on 2 weeks. So this is less work on you because the Porsche has gone out and come back, and the guy got mud on it. Then I had to take it to the car wash. He did give me cash money for gas. I did not charge him enough, so I actually ended up spending $16 to diminish my profit. So I'm not going to do that in the future because the Porsche runs on premium. And if you've noticed, the price of gas has jumped up. So one of the things that we're going to do, because essentially I don't know anything about the car business. I don't know anything about the rental business. And once again, I like to collect my own data because I can rely on my own data. And I would suggest that if you're starting a business, that you conduct tiny experiments. Every 2 years isn't good. I'm buying my cars from dealers because, oddly enough, there are not a lot of people selling cars. I've looked on Craigslist. I've looked on Facebook Marketplace. It's mostly dealers. There's not a lot of people selling cars. Why do people in America? Business travel, like with hire car, these cars are set up for rideshare drivers who need the cars to make money. Here's something else. Like, I have State Farm insurance, right? If I went out and I declined the rental coverage and I got in an accident, State Farm will cover that claim because I am with State Farm. However, let's talk about who was I going to be renting cars to? I was going to rent cars to people who didn't have cars, so they didn't have insurance. That was going to be a problem because I have watched enough Turo videos where virtually every Turo host has had someone total a car. And when people get in a rental car, they're like, it ain't mine. I'm just going to abuse it. Man, it's funny. It is funny. But essentially, we now have a business plan. And like I said, I got really frustrated because I was looking, and let me see. Turo course. Yeah, that ain't good. That ain't good. That ain't good. So essentially, now we're cooking with gas. We're going to have an office tomorrow. We're going to have a parking lot. And now I'm going to go, like I said, I'm going to go back to buying cars. And then once I get the titles, those 2 Range Rovers should get me 4 or 5 more cars. Because, if like I got one on the platform, no one's coming to it. Like as soon as I get the title that day, I'm getting rid of those cars that day. Yeah, but here's the thing with business. Why am I doing the car rental? Because essentially, what I'm going to do is because the Porsche and the BMW should make $3,400 a month, And let me see. If I've got, let's see, 25 cars and we like 22, 23. 23. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. 35 minus, whoa. 35 minus 25% times 23 times 30. So 25 cars at $35 a day minus the fee for hire car is $18,112 plus the $3,400 from Turo. So my goal is to hit 21,512 by July. Now, why is that important? Because I'm going to have one office for $550. I'm going to have another office for $250. So I'm going to be paying, because essentially I'm going to separate the companies. I'm going to have a car rental company and I'm going to have a dealership. Because essentially, for insurance purposes, that can be a big problem having both of them under the same umbrella. So let's say I hit my goal of 2151 by July, minus $800 office rent. That's going to be $20,700. All right. So I hit that, then, that's a really nice number, because let's just say I hit 25 cars and I left it at that. So I was doing 20,700 times 12. That's $248,000 in 1 year. So my $150,000, because like I said, I'm going to shuffle them around. Essentially, the fleet that I have is going to get me 13 cars. So the cars I'm buying times 10. Yeah. So essentially, once I shuffle all this around, I'm going to spend about $160,000 on cars. So that, based upon my numbers, based upon actually having real numbers, and hire cars already paid me out. So essentially, I will have established $20,000 and $70 in revenue in literally, let's see, we started this in April, June, July. 65 days to $20,000 in revenue. That's, actually, you know what's funny? Let me do some math here. 20,700 times 12 is $248,000, right? Where am I trying to get people with the corporate citizen? $250,000 a year in income. Now, what I'm going to do, since I have multiple streams of income, I'm going to take that 20,000 and buy more cars. So essentially, I got to do my projections tonight, but let's see. You should do your LLC first. You should do your corporate banking. Well, essentially, Turo's insurance, like, I don't know because I haven't ran the car on Turo. I don't know if you have the option to decline their insurance. But see, here's the thing: whether the renter declines the insurance or not, you still get a hit over the head with that. Because I'm on the 75% plan, so Turo takes 25% of the rental. Once again, I'm going to develop an aesthetic. I'm going to buy Acura's and Hondas. I'm only going to buy a certain kind of car because people are going to be looking for reliability. And I found an Acura that hopefully it's still there because it's very nice. And, you know, I'm going to build a brand. Mac Daddy Autos is going to have a brand. So I can't just be buying any old car, you know? John Guillory, because essentially what will happen, and this goes back to proving my thesis. So it takes me 65 days from start to finish to put this together. I have an office, I have overhead. I could hire a person. I'm probably not going to hire a person until I get to 30 cars. It just depends upon whatever. But to develop $20,000 in cash flow in 65 days, that's way better than investing, because let's go ahead and do the investment calculator. Investment calculator. Let's go ahead and do this together. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right. So, starting amount, 150,000. All right. And let me see. We'll do 1 year. We're going to have to work with this. So let's put in a 20% return. And we're not adding any more money. All right, so 0. All right, so 20% is too much. Let's do a 15% return. So $150,000 that makes $20,000 a month is a 15% return. All right, so let's go ahead and juice it up, and let's say 40,000, 25%. Nope. So 2 months is a 30. Let's see, that's too much. So let's go 28%. 2 months is a 28% return. 2 months on $150,000. In 2 months, if I make $40,000, that is a 28% return. So let's go with 35%. Let's go with 40%. So in 3 months, $20,000 is a 40% return in 3 months on 150,000. So let's see what a 60% return. So a 60% return, actually, let's go with 70% return. 70% return. So in 5 months, I've gotten a 70% return on my money in 5 months. Let's go with a 90% return. So, 20,000 a month, 20,000 a month times 8. Oh, 20,000 a month times 7. Almost a 90% return in 7 months. So let's go with 110%. So 150%. So in a year, I'm going to get 100. Let's see. I'm going to get 165. I'm going to get 100%, 165% return on my money in 1 year with these accurate numbers. Tell me an investment where you can invest $150,000 and then get back $247,000 in 1 year. Please tell me an investment. And this ain't rocket science, you know. This is something that took me literally 2 weeks to figure out. And in 65 days, if my numbers are accurate, if things go the way that I want them to, I should do $20,000 a month after expenses. After expenses. I'm in Georgia, man. I asked them because essentially I asked them for the smallest office because I don't need a large office. Andre, here in Georgia, you can do what's called an automotive broker, right? So you don't need a lot, but you do need an office. And I'm getting an office hopefully Friday. Yep. That's why I am doing Acura and Toyotas and Hondas. There's a reason that I bought those 3 Acuras because, you know, the engine's kind of bulletproof. So you're right. Well, that's my whole thesis, engineered appliance repair. The crypto kids don't have no money. That's my whole point. Dion Coleman, thanks for the $20 super chat. Dion Coleman, that right there. See that's what I like to see because you're using the do more principle. That's awesome. All right, Drake World. What's up? Profit matters. Andre, the new numbers for buying cars are going to be from 3,000 to 5,000. Potentially 6, but because essentially now that I have real numbers and essentially I'm going to sell these cars either to the people who are renting them or I'm going to sell them to someone else. And that's a number because essentially I can say, all right, I rent the car and I get all my money back. Okay. And then I can like say, hey, pay me $300. I mean, people don't have $300 car notes. $300 for 24 months is $7,200. So I've already made money renting the car out, got my 150 back plus a profit, and then I'm going to sell these cars and buy more and just start the cycle all over again. Because essentially I'm going to work out my projections because I feel that I can get 25, 30 cars by July pretty easy. And now I've got a place to park them. Matter of fact, I'm moving all of the cars over to the office building, so they'll be out my driveway. My neighbors have calmed down, idiots. So that's where I'm going to like meet people to rent the car and pick up the car and stuff and all that, because I'll just drive over there. Oh, I know who they are. I know who they're. One of the things is I decided to focus on business because there's been some, not drama. It could be drama, but I decided to ignore it because I said something that pissed someone off and he left a comment. And I'm like, you know what? We got too much work to do. We don't have no time for no YouTube beefs. And it's just unproductive. Like, I got videos planned for Graham Stephen, but once again, I cannot get distracted and go on tangents and essentially forget about my audience. So no more drama. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sell this puppy and move. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stay focused because I'm pretty excited, because essentially if I can hit my goal, $20,000 a month from a business, like, I don't know how much it's going to take to run the business, but to create that kind of income in 65 days, that's pretty remarkable. That's pretty remarkable. So, and I'm just taking the money that I was paying myself. That's pretty remarkable. Man, the haters do hate, man. Yeah, I'm not getting into drama. I'm not starting anything. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay on my purpose, stay on my grind, and, let people, because it could get stupid real quick. My neighbor mechanic started his driveway. His neighbor ratted on him. Hey, haters, man. Haters. So now, after 2 weeks of buying data, I had to buy the cars. I had to put them on the platforms. So now that I have some real data, now I have a better game plan. This is the thing that we're going to do. And like the commercial insurance, because I already know that at some point, I'm probably going to get my own insurance, but I need to be bigger. Because like, all right, let's say, right, we're making $20,000 a month. All right. So I got my dealer's license and I'm buying one car a month. I'll buy one car a month and flip that for a year. I'll buy it, sell it, make a profit, roll that off into another car to learn the car business. Because the car business, because I was talking to a dude, and I told him how much money I had, and he said, this will only get you like this many cars. Then what you going to do? And also, I got an appointment with Wells Fargo, because essentially I'm doing all this on cash. And let's have this conversation. Like, all right, credit for buying business assets that you can use to make you money is a beautiful thing. And at some point I'm going to do it. But once I establish let's say, once I do my projections, let's say in a year, I get this business to $50,000 a month. At that point, I will start investing in credit for maybe the newer, fancier cars, because at $50,000 a month, I can buy some brand new cars to rent, and the asset is paid from business revenue, so I don't have any debt. So before I start playing the debt game, I want to get to, because when I do my projections tonight, I'll know. The broker's license here in Georgia, the broker's license, the dealer's license, and the wholesale license, they're all the same license. And just how you get them, because I'm waiting on this guy to get kicked out because he's going to be evicted, and I'm going to take over his office, and that's how I'm going to get my automobile dealer's license and go to auction and stuff. And I've got some people who are going to help me out with that. But essentially, I'm going to, once I get this up to 50,000 and, once I do my projections, I will have an estimate of how long it will take me. But let's say I go ahead and reinvest profits, buy more cars, keep renting, and get up to $50,000 a month, because 25 cars will get me 20. So I'm probably going to need 50, 60 cars, right? So 50, 60 cars. And once, I work the numbers and see how long it gets me there. Once I'm at 50,000 a month, I'm Gucci. I can do a lot, because essentially when you start a business, cash flow is important. And this is why I'm going to be really judicious, because essentially what I am paying, and you got to do a cost analysis, because I am paying more for the rental, because, like, let's go $3,400 between the BMW and the Porsche plus 25%. Whoa, 3,500, 3,400 plus 25%. I am paying Turo $850. Whereas if I was able to put them on there myself, minus 120, minus, let's see, hold on. 3,400 plus 25% is 850. That's 4,200 that I would get. And let's say if I had my own insurance, we would do minus 5%. So minus 120, minus 120. So I would see a differential of almost $400. That's a lot of risk for $400. So I'm going to let Turo keep that 850. And, like I said, if the Porsche and the BMW continue to perform well, I'll keep them. If they don't perform well, guess what? I'm selling them. You cannot use self-insurance when you're doing automobiles. You can't do it. Andre, the same thing in Georgia. There's only a few buildings in Georgia that are zoned for automobile brokers. Same thing. They have to be, you got to get a file cabinet. You got to be put on the marquee of the building. You need a sign by your door. There's a lot of things you got to do. So essentially, we're going to do all of that, and I'm going to have two offices. I'm going to have my dealer's office, and I'm going to have my rental office. Because the cool thing is I need that parking lot, because like right now I have one car in my driveway and I've got the Range Rovers and the Acura. So I have 4 cars on me. And, depending on how this goes with the hire car thing, I have a feeling that this car that I plan on getting tomorrow, I have a feeling it'll be gone within 12 hours. I have a feeling it'll be gone in 12 hours, because essentially I'm going to have a certain aesthetic, and these cars I will be able to sell super cheap because I got them cheap. That's a big thing about it. And let's say I actually put some more money in this business and I sold that car, because essentially I don't have to take money out of the business to live. And this is going to be a really good project for you guys, because once I do my projections, I can estimate when I'll be at $50,000 per month. And that's $600,000 a year, man. That's $600,000 a year, man. Y'all don't hear me, because essentially I'm giving you real numbers from real business, achievable stuff. No, I'm not going all electric. I looked at Nissan Leafs are selling cheap because the battery degrades and they have a very short range. Nissan Leafs is not something you want to buy. I know it's electric in the EV world, but I looked at it. If you go to Car Gurus and look up Nissan Leafs, you will see they're selling super cheap because they have very limited range and no one likes them. So, yeah, this was a good day. This was a good day. We got some juicy, real data because it's real hard for you to make good business decisions based upon bad data. Like, take Erica. Erica has said in quite a few videos she wished she hadn't bought so many trucks. She has said that because she was operating on some flimsy data. You know, she's like, there's a reason that so many people only have, like with Turo, there's a reason that so many people only have 3 to 5 cars. 3 to 5 cars is real easy. If you have 3 to 5 of the right cars, you can make $4,000 or $5,000 a month, which is really good money for the average person. Really good, you know, so you gotta, you know, I'm just a big believer in getting my own data, and because I can trust it, because essentially what I know is going to be great. Dion Coleman, that's great because you'll be able to take that money to hire new employees. You'll be able to take that money to buy marketing. You'll take that money and you'll be able to grow that business. Really? Do, 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 do. Not true about the Leaf. Okay, player. Do, 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 do. Let's go to a used Leaf. Let's go to a 2015. They're cheap for a reason. They're cheap for a reason. So, what's up? It's Hire Car, HYRE, Hire Car. Well, I'm not going all electric. I'm not doing that because essentially, people like gas. Let's see. All right, so that's all I got for you guys. If you want to be part of the art of holding, go ahead. Links below. The price hasn't gone up, and we're about to get into some more interesting topics. And we're going to get into the design schematic. $2020 Leaf started for, so yeah, they're very cheap for a reason. They're very cheap for a reason. Thank you, DJ Crime. So you can go ahead and you can get in the art of holding. Link is below, and I will see you guys in the next one.